Welcome back to the Espresso channel. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you stay. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. Thanks for returning. Obviously, you enjoy our channel. So if you don't know by now, I'm the owner. My name is Kim. I'm the owner of Espresso. I am a micro mobile cafe slash dessert shop, if you will. I basically travel to a bunch of local events, fairs, fleas, anything that, all the happenings in my area and sometimes outside of my area. And we put a tent up, a pop-up tent, and we do our thing. We sell our delicious drinks, we sell our delicious waffles, and that is what Espresso is. We got the name from it's funny because my husband actually came up with the name, and he got it from espresso, which we all know is that very potent, strong coffee, and that we mix up with other things to make lattes and other fun drinks or whatever. I'm getting carried away. And then dough is from the brioche dough waffles. So express dough instead of espresso. You get it? Yeah, it's nice and corny, but it works. People love it. We love it. And that's that. I actually started this business solely, and somehow my husband got warped into it just because I needed a help and I couldn't pay for it yet. I started this business in March of this year, 2022, and I have just been trying to build it up and just going at my own pace. Obviously, because we're a pop-up tent, we are limited in what events we can do. We have been able to do some indoor events, and that's been good with just our table, obviously no tent. And it's been awesome. I've been able to sell hot drinks, which we specialize in crazy fun hot cocoa drinks in the winter and fall. And things have been, for the most part, just going great. It's a lot of work. Any business is a lot of work, but food and beverage is a lot of work. It's a lot of prep and all kinds of other things. So the first thing, I'm just going to jump right into it. The first thing, I have my notebook here. This is what I use. This is how I stay on task, because y'all know I got ADHD. So without further ado, I'm just going to go into what all I did to structure this business, to make it what it is now, and so forth. So the first thing that I did was do a little research. I went to the Department of State, Secretary, whatever have you. I went to the website for the state, and I registered my business as an LLC, limited liability company. I think it's so important that you do your research. Everyone just wants to file LLCs because it's what's trending, and everyone is like, oh, you not responsible for anything. Let's just open up an LLC, because if we have debt we don't want to pay, we're not responsible. And that's wrong, because there is some things that you can actually be called to court for when it comes to your LLC, especially because people are not even filing it the right way to make it so that they're not responsible. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not what this video is about. See how I get sidetracked? So the first thing I did was file the LLC. Do your research. You might want to do an S corp. You might want to do something else that is beneficial to your business, and that's perfectly fine. Do that. Then the second thing I did was went to the IRS website and obtained a free, you should never be paying for this, a free employer identification number. EIN is what you might see online places. You are only going to be able to get this from the IRS.gov website. You don't want to go on any other websites and pay. This is a free number given to any entity that is registered in the United States as a business. Other reasons too, but. So LLC, or filing of your business, which for me is LLC, EIN, and then the third thing that I did was do some research. I'm a food and beverage industry, so we need all these different licenses and certifications because we are serving food to the general public, and it's very strenuous. A lot of other businesses don't need these things. Like if you sell candles online, you're not going to need all this. You might just need business insurance, but this is what I did. So that's the first thing that I did. I actually got my license after the filing, the structure. I actually got my license from the health department. It was a very long process. It was tedious. It was unorganized and not on my behalf, but it was cool. It's expected. It's COVID, well, post-COVID, things are still crazy out there. So I was very much so understanding with the process. So I got my licenses. I registered my business with my city because on their website, they require that not only you get your licenses, but you register your business in the city so that they know you are operating. And then with that, I actually went and got an email address. So I started structuring my business to get ready for, I guess, ways for people to contact me, find me, all that good stuff. So I created an email address through Google Workspace, and it is linked to a primary email address. And I also purchased a domain through them, which just is a couple of bucks a month that I pay, maybe like $6 a month I pay for Google Workspace. But it allows you to do so many things. I have a business calendar, which I love. It's how I stay organized. I have a business calendar. I have a bunch of there's just a bunch of business things that you can do through Google Workspace, or even just things to enhance your productivity. And then I also purchased a domain through them, which brings me to a website. I'm telling you guys to get a website, but mine isn't done yet, and I'll tell you why. So purchase your domain, do your website, hire somebody to do it. If it's overwhelming for you, invest the money if you have it. After I did all that, I then got a mailing address. You can get a mailing address from just about any delivery entity. I personally reached out to a local co-working space here in my city and just sent a nice little email to the owner asking them if they would allow me to pay a certain amount, which obviously would be heavily discounted, just to use their business as an address for me and be provided a suite number. And luckily for me, he agreed to it and said he wanted to help small businesses in the area. And to be honest, it's like free money for them, because at the end of the day, you just have like a little area where your mail is. You don't have an office, but there's whatever. You get what I'm saying. So I got the business address, and then I also went and got a business phone number through Freedom Voice. And you're able to do it so that like your phone number could be a 1-800 number. You can set up your voicemails. You can have them be directed to different extensions. If you put that on business credit applications, like I think it's like $10 a month I pay. So there's a little bit of an investment to have your business structured properly to be able to benefit from it. So after all those steps, and you might want to write these down because like I said, I have attention problems and I can go off on a tangent. So we talked about your filing, we talked about your EIN, your licenses, registrations. We also talked about you creating an email address and looking for a business address. And you can do that at USPS, UPS, a co-working space in your area. And there's other online places too that you can look up, and they might have, or ipostal.com, and get like a $10 address somewhere. There's so many, and like a Staples or stuff. So just do your research, whatever fits your business, your budget, do that. And so after I've done all that, I started to do start to work on my online presence. So I like went and linked my made a profile for my business through Google, and then made a listing for Google. So this is where all that other stuff comes into play. On Google, if you type Espresso, you will see the suite number and the address where I am paying for a co-working space / address. And that's exactly why, because your online presence, you want it to be separated from your personal address and everything. So I created like an online presence. I did listings on Google and a bunch of other sites. So if you search our name, you should be able to find us pretty easily. And then I also did my social media. That was after everything was established, logos were made, all that jazz. I did my social media. So I created a Facebook and Instagram. I converted this channel into the Espresso channel, and I believe that's all the social media I have right now. So those are all the steps that I took. Some of these things, like a lot of these things you can do like in one day. If you just take a whole 8-hour day or 8-hour shift per se in one day and just work on all of these things, you can get it done. Like, there's no excuse. So then after all of that, I obtained a commissary kitchen because in my state, you are required, there's no cottage laws for what I'm doing for coffee because I have dairy. I have to rent out a commissary kitchen. So I do that, and that's unfortunately overhead, but because I do mostly coffee and I do not bake anything myself, I use very minimal hours for it. In fact, I use it to store my dry goods, like my coffee beans, my whipped cream and everything. Like I have a refrigerator space too. So if you're a food and beverage industry, you might want to look that up too, because before you even get your inspection done, you might find out that you need to have that, and you want to make sure you have that so that you are good to go for your inspections. So that is all the things that I did. Now, how I funded my business is kind of tricky. Like, it was a process and it wasn't an easy one. Let's just be real. So I wanted my entity to be completely different than me, Camara. I didn't want anything, and I still do not want anything attached to my personal name, my personal credit profile, anything like that. So if you want to do that, there are some things that you can do, and it may take time. I established, because you have your EIN, I also have a Dun & Bradstreet number, so you might want to look into getting that as well. You can begin to build business credit under your entity solely and not under your name. There's Dun & Bradstreet, there's Equifax and Experian. Those are like the main credit reporting bureaus for business. There are also some other ones too, but those are the main 3 ones that most people recognize. So again, go to Dun & Bradstreet and apply for a DUNS number. So with the EIN and DUNS number, you will be able to apply for business credit accounts. Like, a lot of people nowadays wanted to do things quick, and they don't want to build. And that's fine. If you want to leverage your personal credit and put your Social Security down on applications for business funding, that's fine. You don't have to do this at all. I would prefer not to. Unless it's a big loan or purchase item that I may need in the future, then maybe. But for now, small accounts for supplies and different things, there's no need for me to give you my social. That's bogus. So anyway, some of the vendor accounts that I started off with are Uline, Granger, CEO Creative. There's a bunch of them. And with the Quill.com, and I'll put all of these in the description below. These are all companies that are willing to extend you credit solely based on your business and nothing attached to your social. They're willing to extend you credit, and you will have to, you can order products on their website, and you have to pay the money for your invoice within a certain amount of time. A lot of times it's 30 days, within 30 days of your purchase date or invoice date. Some vendors will be 60 days. I even have one that I believe they just told me was 90 days. So you want to establish these accounts, and you'll see that the more these accounts you have that you are paying on time and ordering products from regularly, the higher your limits may be when you apply for more. So those are the accounts that I just listed, are some of the ones that I have. Now, some of my bigger accounts that I've just gotten approved for within the last couple of months are Lowe's Commercial Credit, which I'll also put the link down in the description, and also Home Depot's Commercial Credit. And those are all lines of credit that I'm going to leverage. They're under my business name. They're not tied to my Social Security number. So when I log on to monitor my credit, I do not see these accounts. They're all under my business. I just want to make that clear, because some people cannot believe this. Like, a lot of people are not familiar with business credit, and they cannot believe that people, like vendors and companies, are willing to extend you credit without getting your social and running your personal credit. And I want to tell you that that is a thing, and it's becoming well known. So anyway, I now have Lowe's and Home Depot larger lines of credit, and I'm able to pay those back within a couple months of my purchase dates. And I also just got approved for a Sam's Club card. Now, if you know about business credit, you know that this is like the holy grail. Everybody wants a Sam's Club MasterCard or a Sam's Club store card. And there's so many reasons behind it. I could go on all day about these vendor accounts. But total, I have about $12,000 in business credit that I can leverage to take Espresso to the next level, which that's another video, another day, and another announcement. So all of those accounts are not tied to my personal credit. I'll put down in the description a couple of vendor accounts that you can also use. You may even be able to obtain a business address online that may report to some of those bureaus as well. So do your research, do your research, do your research. All of these things that worked out for me may not be tailored to your business. You want to do your research. So that's just a little bit about how I funded my business. I also was approved for a pay by invoice account with Amazon, and I would order things like my cups in the beginning, my lids, my straws, different things like that, stickers to print and put on my cups. I would order all those things and pay for them before 30 days is up after I order it. And that was a big help for me because that would allow me to gather up everything that I needed for my events, pay later, make the money, and then get the revenue going, and then pay Amazon later after my events. And that was like the perfect way to leverage business credit when you're first starting out. Now, if you want to try to, I know Amazon's getting a little bit strict lately because people are not paying, but you want to go to Amazon.com, make a business account. Make sure your email is professional. For me, mine is contact@espresso.com. You want to have a domain email, so an email that's attached to your website. You can get that through Google Workspace, which is what I pay $6 a month for. Get a domain email that looks professional. Sign up for a business Amazon account, and once you sign up, give it about a week or two. You may get an invite manually or automatically to your email address saying, hey, you want to sign up for Amazon's business credit, pay by invoice, whatever. They'll send you an invitation. If they don't, give it about 2 weeks. Submit a ticket or go through the chat and ask them about it and say, I would like to apply for Amazon pay by invoice. Ask them straight off the bat what amount you're looking to get. And they can either proceed, or they can act like they don't know what you're talking about, which 9 times out of the 10 they do. So that's what worked for me. I also have another pay by invoice account, which is through onlinelabels.com. That's where I actually found out about this vendor when I had my soap business that that you guys may know about. So you can send them a request to get like a net 30 account, and you can order all the labels for your business that you want, and you just pay them back within 30 days. So that works. It may build your business credit depending on what vendors you get. So yeah, that's pretty much, because I go on a tangent sometimes. That's pretty much the steps that I took to start my coffee business. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments. I will try to get back to you guys as quickly as I can. But I am going to try my best, cross our fingers, to get more content out there, especially about coffee in general. So if you guys like this video, I know it's pretty long, but if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, engage with me, so that way I know to put more content up there like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you soon.